Well, I've got Minister Allinson with us, and we were doing an item about taking over your new position, but I clearly would love to talk to you about a certain virus that's doing the rounds. And this is your doctor's hat on, really.
Yeah.
Let's get it from you, and you're talking to people about the risks, the dangers, and what people should do to make themselves as safe as they can.
Yeah, and one of the aspects of the coronavirus, and we're talking about a serious risk here, is the fear. And actually the fear can do more damage than the virus itself. What we know about it is it's a novel virus. We've dealt with other coronaviruses in the past, but this is new, certainly to the Western world, and is going to cause some major disruption in the same way as when we've talked in the past about swine flu and bird flu, and the same worries. Exactly the same with this.
Yeah.
The mortality rate seems to be 2 to 3%, which is slightly higher than influenza, when we get bad flu, but certainly isn't like SARS or Ebola or things like that. But there are lots of fears about it, and what we need to do is try to counter those fears, try to reassure people, and get some simple messages across. So most of them are, if you're going to start coughing and spluttering, put a handkerchief over your nose and your face. Don't spread it because it's spread through droplets. What coronavirus does is cause what's called a viral pneumonia. Now, everyone knows pneumonia, bad cough, your lungs get congested, exactly the same with coronavirus. And it seems to affect mainly elderly people and people who are immune suppressed. Sometimes we've had flu epidemics that have really targeted children and young people. Doesn't seem to be the case here. So we need to be careful, looking after ourselves, looking after our neighbours, making sure you wash your hands properly, don't cough and splutter over people, and then actually make sure that you're up to date with the latest advice. The Isle of Man government has set up a really, really good website that's updated every afternoon with the latest advice so that you know the risks and you know what to do.
Time of recording this, we're okay here, but this could change at any time, of course.
Yes.
And then does that step things up a bit? I mean, there's self-isolation and that sort of thing?
It does. I mean, what I would... And again, it's trying to get that balance between fear, unnecessary fear, but also preparedness. What the Isle of Man government has been doing behind the scenes is loads of exercises, as they have done with flu pandemics in the past, to get things ready for the worst-case scenario, hoping that we'll never get there. If we get to the point where there is widespread contagion and lots of people have the viruses, then it will be an element of self-isolation. Most people, so 97% of people, are going to have a relatively mild illness.
Some won't even know about it with their children.
No, exactly, and that's one of the problems even with flu. Some people get sort of subclinical and will spread it without even knowing that they've got it. Yeah. So if you get sick, don't rush to see your doctor and cough over a crowded waiting room. Stay at home, phone up, get advice. Look after yourself, look after your family, try not to spread it, but take those precautions in the first place.
Your time as a doctor, and I know you still do the odd bit, but I mean, you get a waiting room full of people who shouldn't be there, and infected. You must over the years expose yourself to every sort of cough and cold.
Yes,
going.
but I've each year I've had the flu jab, and that's recommended for carers and medical professionals to try to keep ourselves well. And there is, most of us do get coughs and colds, but if we've got a healthy immune system, we'll get over it. It's just making sure that we're well. If I've got a terrible cold, I don't go into work. I don't go in there and spread it to other people. And again, exactly the same with people who work in a busy office. If you're feeling unwell, if you know you've got a bad cold, phone in sick. Don't go in there just be because you think you should, and therefore cause a lot more of a problem. So there's that idea of self-isolation for the unwell. And if you think you may have coronavirus and you're unwell, stay at home, phone your GP. They can get advice from public health, and if necessary, you can be tested. And we've been doing quite a few tests on the island so far. Over 1,400 tests, haven't found a single positive. But a lot of people are saying it's going to be a matter of time. However, we are in a good situation on the Isle of Man to be able to contain things, deal with it in a proper, controlled way.
And finally, as a personal thing, do you think it will become pandemic? I mean,
personally, I think it already has done. When you look at the spread around the world, I mean, declaring it as a pandemic is a political issue, but it's affecting most countries in the world now. We haven't seen massive increases in the number of cases, but it's there, and it seems now to be spreading not only from people who've been abroad and have come, but from one person to another within the community. And we think for every one person who gets the coronavirus, 2 to 3 people will then catch it from those. So it will spread. How quickly it spreads depends on the way we contain it. We're in the containing phase at the moment, and if we can get that right, hopefully we can limit the impact.